Finally starting to warm up a little bit out here, which is probably a really good thing because I only have about a month's worth of hay left before we're gonna need to start getting these cows out in pasture. We usually get them out right around the 1st of April. It's been colder this year than normal, so I don't know if we'll be able to make that. We might have to end up buying a little bit more hay, which is unfortunate because it is expensive right now. So with the warmer weather comes a little bit more sloppy ground. We got a lot of puddles around, and this corral, pen, whatever you want to call it, that these cows are in, is starting to turn into quite a mess. We had hoped to keep some wood chips down to keep the mess down and not as sloppy. We wanted to do the deep litter method to kind of take care of their poo and urine and stuff, keep it from being so messy. It's been okay, but not great because our wood chips got covered in snow and froze. They turned into a giant wood chip icicle. If we climb on the other side of this fence, you'll be able to see where the wasted feed, where the cows have spent most of the time really. Some of their wasted feed, where we've gotten a few wood chips down, and where most of their manure has been deposited has been just on this other side of this fence where they've been eating at. See if I can back up and get you a little perspective here. But this manure that they've got is about, I'd guess, 2 to 3 feet deep. That's where we're sitting right now. They have spent most of their time in this little area right here because that's where their food is, their water is. Also because in the cold, this has been composting. You can see when it gets really cold, you can actually see the steam rising off of it. It hasn't frozen all the way through once, where everything else, it's frozen at least a couple feet down. We've had some really cold weather, so we've got a lot of frost in the ground, but this here has not froze because of the composting that's been going on. It's been a lot warmer than everywhere else, so they bed down here to stay warm on top of this compost. This out here where they have not been, the ground is frozen. That's why we get all these puddles. You can see there's tons of puddles out there because the ground is frozen, so when the snow melts, it doesn't seep in. It just sits on top of the frozen ground. So from the sun shining on it, melts the snow on top, turns into these puddles. So once the ground thaws, these will all go away pretty quick. In the meantime, I'm gonna try and put some of those wood chips, see if I can even get them off of that pile because it is just so frozen solid. I don't know if it'll be able to move or not. We'll give it a try. It's been the last probably 2 days that we've really been warm, and so I don't know if it's thawed enough through that to make it so I can move it. So ideally these would be covered so they wouldn't be soaking up the snow and the rain and that moisture, so when I put them out there they'd have a lot more room to soak up the moisture out there. Interesting enough, these get really wet on top, so if you just go the first little bit, they're really wet here. But once we start digging down, this in here is quite dry and loose. They still have a lot to soak up. We don't get a lot of rain and moisture, even with the snow. We only get 13 inches of rain a year, which means these don't have to soak up a ton even when it rains and snows. So with a pile this deep, the bottom of it usually stays fairly dry so we can still use it. Ideally, I'd still like to cover it, make it a little bit more usable that way. Also, I'd like to have that whole paddock area there covered that the cows are in so that they're not getting rain and snow on them, because that would keep everything dry that way. We don't have that kind of infrastructure, so until we get it, we'll just make do with what we got. Well, apparently we've had a couple good storms since I've been in here. This gate is now frozen shut, so we're gonna have to wait for it to warm up some. You can see some ice down here, where it's just frozen all around it. So I might chip away at some of that. We'll mostly have to just wait till it warms up and melts it. So I did dump that that wheelbarrow full of wood chips just right here, where it's kind of a muddy mess anyway. As we walk in and out of that garden area, we dug right there when we put those water lines in this last fall. And so between the digging and our walking out of there, it's kind of a muddy mess there. I need some wood chips down there anyway to cover that up. Unfortunately, I can't get them into here to kind of clean up all that mess back in there. I did want to update you on a few things though. That's Pepper. She is due in June, along with, what's her name? Ginger. Yes, Ginger's due. Nutmeg with the funny horn. Those three are due to calve in June. We could have gotten Honey, which is in the back there, and Sugar, the black one here. They were bred, but it didn't take for some reason, so we'll have to catch them next year. We tried the AI for the first time this year, and it seemed a lot more expensive, a lot more difficult than I'd hoped it would be. So we might go back to just doing bulls instead of the AI. But those three are bred. Okay, oh yeah, that's not what we're doing here. Sierra, come here. Sierra, here, come on, up here. What are you doing? There's Bailey. Yeah, Bailey, I'm not talking about you. Sierra, back here. This one, this ugly dog. She is due in the end of March, the 23rd, I think, which is the day after Andrea. Andrea's due the 22nd. So Sierra's due the 23rd, somewhere around there, about a month, less than a month. So yeah, ultrasound on her showed something like 8 puppies. We won't even see them around here. She'll go back with the breeder. For those of you who don't know, we are just guardians of her. She's still in a breeding program. We're her guardians for now, until she's done with the breeding program, at which point she will be ours. But until then, we'll go see the puppies, but they won't be around here. So when that time comes, we'll probably take a little tour and go see those puppies. So over here with the rabbits, this place is a mess over here. We thought we had a good setup. It wasn't as good as we thought. Just turned out to be quite a mess. So next year we're gonna have to do something completely different. I've got some plans. We'll kind of go through those throughout the summer and figure that out. But I got some plans where we're gonna move these guys for next winter. That's Ruby hiding back there. She is due in about I just bred her just almost a week ago. So she's due in about 3 weeks. And we got Belle next to her. Bonnie is in the garage. We thought she was bred, but she didn't kindle, so we'll get her bred here again pretty soon. So we'll have those 3 pumping out bunnies all summer long. So we're gonna have some bunnies coming. So as far as projects go, I've been working on that table. That was kind of my project. I had to take a break to get the generator going. We slowed down on that only because we gotta kind of get our lives organized right now, because Andrea's due in less than 3 weeks. We're gonna go check in on her. Sierra, come on. Girl.
What are you doing?
Alright, chewing, why don't you show us that belly?
Yellow.
Andrea is 37 weeks, so she's due, it's the 22nd you're due,
Yeah.
right? And Sierra's due the 23rd?
24th.
The 24th. I was off by a day. But yeah, still there. Still a baby growing there.
Did you already talk about how she's leaving us though?
Oh, Sierra's leaving
Yeah.
us? Yeah.
Oh, good.
I was like, she's leaving us? Baby's not leaving us. I want to leave you with the camera because I gotta go get wood. I forgot. Love ya.
Our last 2 babies, Becca and Lucas, are 3 and 4 now. They were both born at home, and we're planning another home birth with this baby. There are lots of reasons I've chosen that, but the main part of it is that I hate being in the hospital, so. Anyway, so we'll see when she's born. We'll probably have some photos or videos to share. Like you said, I'm 37 weeks. I'm ready anytime. I told her she could come anytime after March 1st. So right now I'm just, well, this week I'm just taking care of sick kids, but just nesting, trying to get things organized at home and get ready for this baby. We're excited.